it's officially hunting season for 2021. Antelope opened a couple days ago. We got out here a little bit late. Honestly, I feel like we're definitely a few days late to the party. We're out here in this awesome big field. It's been so dry. It's been 2 months without rain, and it was in the 100 degrees, triple digits for a week. I thought we were in the chips. We've actually, since there's no water, we're actually hunting over a little cattle tire that's buried that they have to fill up manually. But of course, we come out in the dark, it starts to get light, and then here comes the rain. Picked an awesome day to hunt water holes for sure. A lot of times what you're looking for is you just really want them thirsty. And that's the key, is just being the only water source. So we've got pretty good chances, I think. And it rained for probably a couple hours. A really nice buck came by at 50 yards, and honestly, I didn't really want to shoot with the rain, and I thought he was going to just come right in, but he just happened to be cruising by, so we got to watch him walk by, go out in bed, but he was definitely a shooter. Awesome buck. So now the name of the game is just waiting. That's all you can do when it's early season. The bucks are with bucks. There might be a buck with a group of does, but normally the bucks are with the bucks. They haven't split up yet, and it's just early season over water. That's the formula for success. It's really maybe a spot and stalk if we find a group bedded in the right place, but for the most part, you're just out here with a backpack full of snacks and a quiver full of arrows, and you hope that you can go back with less snacks and less arrows and more antelope. That's the plan for the day.
Let's make a cake. Yeah, let's make a cake. Let's tie our hands down to the tracks. Let's make the world look flat. Let's cut the tongues before they ever learn to sing. Let's burn the homes to warm our hands. Plant our flags on foreign lands. Let's leave the fingers and take the ring. Let's make a cake.
We ain't seeing shit in the blind today, so all I can do is get out my guitar and play a song for you, a song for me. Please, antelope, come in, and I'll put a rage in thee. Which side is it on? Right side. All right, current situation, we're 10 hours in on day 3. So right now we're right at about, 34 hours in 3 days. We had rain, we've had wind, and now we've got 1 buck and 3 does there, 1 shooter buck and a bunch of does there, and 2 of the biggest bucks are off on their own. But honestly, whoever comes to this water first is gonna get my tag, because it's just been a game of ring around the rosy. They've been so close. It's been an awesome hunt. Awesome. But if something comes in with this wind and the forecast that's coming, I'm ready. Plan B, taking off the black. We're going down to the camo, and
we've seen these bucks do the same thing for several days. We know that there's water everywhere, so they're just not coming to this. They're circling wide, and as soon as they're done feeding in the morning, they're jumping this fence and they're going out to those big sage flats straight behind what you've been seeing in the footage. So we just had a buck came through. We thought he might come in. Of course he didn't. He angled off, he jumped the fence, and he went right through this little saddle where we've been seeing so many of them. So we're just gonna go spot and stalk mode. We're gonna get out, we're gonna flank around and get in that creek system and see if we can get eyes on that goat and see what happens. Probably about halfway to the goat. Luckily there's this awesome dried out creek bed right here, so we're using this to navigate. He's right up, I think he's around this next point. Coming down that flat is where we saw him go over the saddle. So we're gonna work our way, stay tight, try to utilize shade when we can. We're gonna work this edge, go over to that next look, peek around one more time. So, using the terrain, stay tight, peek around the corners, get a good glass, move to the next point. Alright, I can see him. He's out in this flat. Probably 200-300 yards out there. He's heading straight away. So we're going to just stay on him and try to find a place where we can navigate the terrain. So, yeah, he's still heading away. So, we're just gonna have to put in some time and wait for him to bed down in that flat. He came over this hill and was just picking around a little bit. That's what he's doing out there right now. So we're just gonna give it a few minutes till he rounds another corner, and then we'll move to one more spot. So the buck is bedded down. We're assuming for the day. It's hot. It's almost midday. But he's bedded down right before a crest of a rise. But he's also bedded in the sage. So I'm actually gonna, we're several hundred yards out, but we're gonna do two things. One, because of how noisy it is, we're gonna have to separate. So I'm going to set Caleb up somewhere where he has a visual, but he's not going to necessarily booger me, and then I'm going to flank. Caleb, come over here. Come on. Stay low. Stay low. Stay low and come around. Come right over here so I can show these guys what's up. All right, so it's starting to get really bright. I need some shade on my face. All right, so Caleb, can you Casey, can you come right here and just come right up over my shoulder? Just don't go above that. All right, so the best option based on what I'm glassing is right through here. We can stay in the low spot of the creek. And right there, there's another washout draw like this right out there about 200 yards. So we're gonna go over there. I can set up Caleb before that. Should just set up, stay behind some sage and watch the goat. I'm gonna stay right in that. You can see it's a snake. I'm gonna stay low right there. I'm gonna go through that and around, and I'm gonna come in from behind the buck. This is gonna be the final plan. So right now the wind, see the wind? The wind's blowing kind of like this. So I've got a perfect plan of attack. Stay low here, go around. I'm gonna go wide around, coming from the back. Caleb will go right to that rise and be able to spot the buck. He's literally out in that thicker sage right out there. So, fist bump, let's get it done. Fist bump, let's get it done. Here we go. All right, we're in a perfect spot. I'm halfway to that little corner, the last corner. So I'm gonna leave Caleb right here. If Caleb takes this time, look right here, Caleb. Here's what I want you to do. You're gonna crawl right, use that sage, because he's right over that flat up that hill. So make sure you just crawl up straight behind the sage and just go easy, because it's gonna take me 30 minutes to get around. I'm gonna go around through here, all the way around as wide as I can, coming from the back. Let's do it. Good luck. Don't screw it up. Arguably the most exciting kind of antelope hunting right there. This is what's not exciting about antelope hunting. This. A prickly pear. I got a couple of them during that stalk. So you don't want those, but that's part of the game. So this buck was bedded either here or right there. I can't remember. Might have been right in there. But just to show you how this worked out, what I did was I used the top of this sage as my blocker. And by that I mean I kept it between me and the antelope so that he couldn't see me. Even though he was facing this way, the wind was blowing this way. So I had to come in from here, but he was facing this way, and they can still see almost behind their head. So you don't have much room. So where he was bedded, his head was right behind some sage. So what I did was I stayed low enough coming through this area, and I just kept trying to use the biggest bushes in case he stood up. I could just get down behind a sage, but I kept the tip of his antlers. I was staying low enough so the tip of his antlers was barely visible above that sage bush. And I got up and I ranged the sage bush at 30 yards. So I figured, no, actually I ranged the sage bush
at 30 yards, because I figured he was about 32, 33 yards. So what was awesome about this was I was able to range the bush without exposing myself. And then I got my sight set. Yeah, my sight set on 31, got my sight set, and I drew back and I actually stepped to the left of the bush, and his whole body was just bedded perfectly on the side of the sage. It could not have worked out any better. And he was quartering away. He wasn't tucked up. It was just picture perfect and quartering away shot through and through. I couldn't really see blood pumping out of him, but the sound sounded absolutely perfect. And he only went maybe 50 yards somewhere over here and piled up. But what an unbelievable hunt. There he is. So we've been in the antelope line. I think it's about 11:30 now, but we came out this morning and we hunted till about 10 o'clock, and everything had left that field and was out here, and we saw this one bedded from the blind. So we decided to make a move. Yeah, there's the exit right there. So yeah, entrance right in the corner of the white pocket. Perfect. So I talk about there being 4 ways to hunt antelope. You can spot and stalk like this, which is arguably the most exciting, but probably, I don't know, 99 out of 100 times you make mistakes. I would have made mistakes 99 times on an antelope because they can see so good. They can, when their ears are up like this, that's the only part they can't see. So a human, the width of you, they could definitely see still behind them. So spot and stalk, unbelievable, but the situation has to be right. You have to have terrain to navigate. The other way is obviously water holes. A lot of people do. Otherwise, during the rut, setting up with decoys. And then the last one would be fence crossings or travel corridors if you really don't have the option of the water or the rut. But what an amazing hunt, and more importantly, this was the first hunt with the new PSE Carbon Levitate. This is an amazing bow. It's going to set a whole new bar for carbon technology. It's got DFC technology. It's literally the most comfortable thing you'll ever feel when you let an arrow go. It is ridiculous. It is completely dead with that DFC technology. But what an awesome hunt. Perfect bow for it. Awesome light bow to navigate and crawl with. It makes it so much easier in some of these areas where I had to stay low to be able to just pick that bow up and work across. But what an awesome antelope. I'm really pumped with this guy. Any type of antelope you can get spot and stalk, he should be a proud bow hunter. Wow, what an awesome day out west.